This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
New at 11, a story you'll see only on RTV6. A pastor hopes to highlight issues with the justice system as he appeals trespassing charges.
Joy Thornton says an incident at a flea market where he dialed 911 for help led to his wrongful arrest and cost him his job.
Tonight he explains his story to RTV6's Cameron Riddle.
For years, Joy Thornton has been a pastor in one of Indianapolis' toughest neighborhoods, and he's always told young black men to stay out of trouble. That's a task he thought was possible until trouble caught up to him.
I don't think I have that leverage anymore or credibility to be able to say to African-American young people or just any young people about staying out of trouble when trouble knocked at my door.
It's a game of he said, she said, which Pastor Joy Thornton says he lost after being confronted by a manager at the Peddler's Mall flea market in September 2018.
I was leaving the mall, and on leaving, a woman come up to me and confronting me about she didn't appreciate me talking to her employee like that. And I was trying to figure out I asked her, what were you talking about? And she said, well, I don't appreciate you. And I said, ma'am, listen, I don't know who you are, and I don't appreciate you coming up to me disrespectfully as you are.
Thornton says he wasn't having issues with anyone, but instead was actually playing a game of checkers in the store. He eventually dialed 911 on that woman who then yelled at him. He says he left the store until police arrived, but things didn't get better.
When I went in with those officers, she had hijacked the situation as if I was the predator, and he believed her. With all the scenes I've seen on TV, what happened to folk, I was not going to escalate that situation. And so I left that mall, and that was it until I went back in January to get my phone fixed.
When Thornton returned to the store in January of this year, the woman who he had an issue with last time spotted him from across the building. Minutes later, he was approached by two officers.
They come over to me and ask me, why are you in here? I said, I'm getting my phone fixed. Well, you're not supposed to be in here. I said, sir, I'm just getting my phone fixed. And then he said, put your hands behind your back, you're under arrest. Just like that.
Thornton, an IFD chaplain, was in full uniform and was originally planning to head downtown to a fire department event. But instead, the pastor and chaplain was handcuffed and taken to jail for trespassing. According to documents obtained by RTV6 from the Marion County Prosecutor's Office, the store manager told police she had banned the pastor from the store following the previous confrontation more than 4 months prior. Thornton says that was information he was never told.
They took my badge off, took my chain off, took my wallet, then marched me out to the paddy wagon. Everybody looking and staring. I'm in uniform.
Court documents show Thornton spent 2 nights in the Marion County Jail and was eventually charged and convicted of trespassing, a Class A misdemeanor. Thornton lost his job as an IFD chaplain and likely some faith from his congregation. Now the pastor is appealing his conviction because he says he never knew he was banned from the Peddler's Mall in the first place. Now, as he waits for his appeal, Thornton wants to shed light on how some people looking for help can quickly become a suspect, an issue he says is one of many in Marion County's justice system.
I should have never called 911 to go back over there to that mall, because as a result of that, here's where I am today.
Working for you in Indianapolis, Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
Well, RTV6 did not find any trespass orders issued by police or the courts between Thornton's first visit to the mall and his second visit that ended in his arrest. We will stay with this story as Thornton continues his legal fight.
Now to the forecast. People out on Monument Circle are probably wearing jackets and sweaters at this hour. So what's in store for the morning? Kevin joins us now.
Coldest night in the 7-day forecast. There's your headline right there. All the color of blue represents the frost advisory in effect. Skies are clear, the wind fairly calm. That sets the stage then for the coldest hours, about a 6-hour stretch from 2 a.m. to sunrise, which is just before 8 a.m. for temperatures to fall into this range above the freezing mark, but not by much. And we will have patchy frost around. Temperature in Indy is at 45 for now, 42 in Peru, everywhere lower 40s with one exception. Bloomington leading the way into the 30s. 70s. This is the way we start our Friday, but this is rock bottom. Temperatures from there will warm Friday afternoon and for a good chunk of the 7-day forecast I'll show you.
We'll see you soon, Kevin. Thank you. A court hearing tomorrow could determine the future for people fighting to stay in their homes. Residents of the I-70 mobile home park on the southwest side of Indianapolis first called RTV6 in August after getting a letter from the park's owner saying they and their mobile homes had to be off the property by this week. After RTV6 got involved, Indiana's Attorney General got involved too. Last week, after a series of our reports, the AG's office filed a civil suit against the company Blue Lakes Incorporated. A restraining order is allowing the residents to stay in their homes at least until tomorrow's court hearing. RTV6 will be in the courtroom. You'll want to look for updates throughout the day on air, on the IndyChannel.com, and on the RTV6 app.
Working for You, another family is reaching out to RTV6 with concerns about abandoned homes in Indianapolis.
Well, we've seen on the news, other people, you guys coming out and helping other people with their problems,
Tonight, we are hearing from a couple who lives on Tuxedo Street on the east side. You can see the home next door to Scott Harvey and Donna George has overgrown trees in the front yard and trash littering the lawn. We checked into the property and found the city has owned the home since 2017, but complaints about trash, weeds, and requests to have the property boarded up date back to 2011. Each complaint has been investigated and closed.
The bricks fall off the chimney and hit my house, and it's tore down my fence. Just the whole side of my house has been tore down by it, It's just a disgrace.
RTV6 took those issues to the city again. A spokesman with the Department of Business and Neighborhood Services is contacting the proper agencies about the problems, and we've learned the house is in the process of being sold with a proposal to rehab it. If you have a problem and need help making your voice heard, contact us at workingforyou@rtv6.com.
A 2-year-old boy is dead after police say he found a gun and accidentally shot himself. It happened early this morning in Morgan County. Investigators say the toddler's mother was house sitting for relatives in Mooresville when that shooting happened, but the boy lived in Indianapolis. The Marion County Sheriff says this should serve as another reminder of the importance of gun safety. You can get free gun locks at several places, including the Sheriff's Office, Riley Children's Health, and even the library. Sheriff Kerry Forrestal says those locks could be the difference between life and death.
It's opinion, but I don't think enough people use them. I think people want to say, I need to get it when I need to get it. Well, you better be sure where it's at, because somebody else may get that.
In response to that tragedy, the Marion County Sheriff will be handing out free gun locks at the Pike Township Fall Festival. That runs from 3:30 to 7:30 tomorrow afternoon at the Government Center on Lafayette Road.
More witnesses are set to testify tomorrow in the trial of a northern Indiana woman charged in the deaths of 3 siblings at their bus stop. Investigators say Alyssa Shepard disregarded a school bus stop arm in Rochester, hitting and killing 9-year-old Olivia Stahl and her 6-year-old twin brothers Mason and Xavier Engel. The crash happened last October. Our news gathering partners at WROI Giant FM Radio have been inside the courtroom since this trial started, and the station talked to Olivia Stahl's father.
We need to kind of stay calm with it, let the trial occur. It's a struggle for us and everybody involved as is. Our community is shook by it, not just here in Fulton County, but Pulaski County where we reside and neighboring counties.
Shepard faces several charges, including reckless homicide. What may be a key piece of evidence in a double homicide investigation is now in police custody. Yesterday, IMPD asked the community to look out for this stolen red Monte Carlo in connection to a shooting on the south side that killed 2 people. Today, investigators announced the car has been located.
Funeral services will be held tomorrow for the Indiana State Police trooper killed in a car crash last week. Visitation was held today for Trooper Peter Stephen at Crossroads Community Church in Kokomo. People who had never met the trooper paid their respects, including law enforcement from other parts of the country, like Carlos Sosa Vizcarra with the Minnesota State Patrol.
Doesn't matter if you're a trooper, if you're a sheriff deputy or a police, it's just a big brotherhood. Everybody comes together and shows support to the families.
Tomorrow morning's funeral starts at 11 o'clock, also at Crossroads Community Church. The public is welcome to attend.
Now to the latest on the impeachment inquiry. Today, President Trump's acting chief of staff openly confirmed that the administration withheld aid from Ukraine to investigate Democrats.
You just described is a quid pro quo. It is funding will not flow unless the investigation into the Democratic server happens as well.
We do that all the time with foreign policy.
From the White House podium, Mick Mulvaney acknowledged the administration withheld $400 million in military aid from Ukraine. He said that delay was tied to President Trump's push to get Ukraine to investigate Democrats in the 2016 election, but contested it involved former Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter. Mulvaney later said his words were misconstrued, releasing a statement saying, quote, "The only reasons we were holding the money was because of concern about lack of support from other nations and concerns over corruption," end quote.
Tonight we have details on the tentative deal between General Motors and the United Auto Workers Union. The overall package from the company is valued at $9 billion. That's up from the company's original offer of $7 billion. The agreement means 9,000 jobs retained or new, and the 4-year deal includes 3% pay raises for 2 of the years and 4% lump sum payments for the other 2. UAW workers have been on strike for more than a month. Today, union leaders thanked communities across the country for their support.
Incredibly, profoundly impacted by the overwhelming support of the community, of the different cities that we are in, of this nation. This strike actually became more than just a strike for the UAW. It was about the hearts and minds of American workers and the middle class.
The union is now sending the agreement to the membership for voting. That's scheduled to start on Saturday. The strike will continue during that time.
Coming up, our Hiring Hoosiers career coach shares the 6 things you need to know about your benefits before starting a new job.
A haunted house in our area is serving up more than just scares. I'll tell you how they're helping out our community after the break.
$99 this week only at Ashley Home Store.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
It is that time of the year. Haunted houses across the area putting on their worst to scare those who dare visit them.
Got Cornelius there. Stillwell Manor in Anderson, however, is doing more than scaring folks. They're throwing their support behind a good cause.
RTV6's Cornelius Hawker tells what cause they were supporting tonight and how you can get involved too.
From deranged doctors
Don't touch my toys!
to demented dolls, Stillwell Manor holds nothing back when it's time to scare. And in this haunted house, that's where they want the scares to stay.
No matter who you are or how weird you are, you're part of a family and you're accepted for who you are.
Paul Lanner is behind the group Haunters Against Hate. He started it in 2016 after people who were also a part of the haunted house community said bad things online about the Orlando Pulse nightclub shooting, which left 49 people dead and hurt 53 others. His advocacy work for the LGBTQ community hasn't stopped since.
There have been incidents where I've intervened and said, this is unacceptable behavior, this needs to be rectified.
Now, he travels all over the country, going to different haunted houses and conventions, raising money to give donations to LGBTQ organizations. Muncie Outreach is benefiting from his stop at Stillwell Manor.
Supporting groups that help kids feel secure and feel loved and build their confidence is very important.
For 7 years, Laura has been running Muncie Outreach, supporting LGBTQ youth who sometimes deal with bullying at school and don't have a home to go to because their parents have kicked them out.
We try to teach them power, so that way they are able to stand up and voice themselves and be an activist.
She says support from groups like Haunters Against Hate is helping her save lives.
It's exciting to me that they would reach out and want to help, and his work is exciting to me that he just focuses on LGBTQ youth.
Working for you in Anderson, Cornelius Hawker, RTV6.
Cornelius, thank you. And if you'd like to get involved with Haunters Against Hate or Muncie Outreach, you can find their information in this story on the RTV6 app. And while you may be thinking about Halloween candy, one local group is thinking about turkey. That's because that group is the Moselle Sanders Foundation. Today, the foundation hosted its annual Give Back Luncheon to raise money for the big Moselle Sanders Thanksgiving Day dinner. Every year, the dinner serves tens of thousands of people across central Indiana to make sure no one goes hungry on Thanksgiving.
We continue to do this because the need grows every year. And our job here is just to ensure that people that are less fortunate have access to a Thanksgiving dinner on Thanksgiving Day.
This year's Give Back Lunch was held at 2 locations, Outback Steakhouse in Castleton and Michael's Soul Kitchen downtown. Look for more opportunities to donate to the Moslo Sanders Foundation as we get closer to Thanksgiving.
Day by day. Tomorrow's Friday, everybody. Looking forward to that.
No.
Last day of the week.
We're almost
a
there.
sunny
TGIF.
Friday. How
Is
about
it going to be
that?
nice?
Yeah, but also a frosty Friday.
Frosty Friday.
Frosty Friday in the morning hours for a little while. Let's talk about the winter outlook for a second. Northern Plains through the Great Lakes, clipping at least half of the Hoosier State. Tendency for above average precipitation. So we immediately think, okay, more snow than average. That may or may not be true. The signals as far as temperatures, not quite as strong. They don't point in any one direction, so we have about an equal chance of just being average, below average, or above. We average 26 inches of snow each winter. Temperature tomorrow. That's after starting in the mid-30s. We make it to 62 with sunshine. It won't be too windy. The wind will be light, actually. Saturday, we step it up a bit, and then we go up and over 70 degrees on the Sunday, the warmer of the 2 days over the weekend. I show you Monday. That's our next day where we may have some thunderstorms, and I point this out. This system will have some strength, which is typical in the fall. You're making the seasonal change. Pressure differences are greater. Temperature differences are greater, and so a line of thunderstorms may have damaging wind potential later in the day on Monday. Not set in stone yet, but the heavy rainfall would be welcome across central Indiana. Don't necessarily need any severe storms, but even outside of any stronger thunderstorms, I think the wind will be noticeable through the day and fairly strong. Fall break, well, certainly a lot of school systems are on fall break, so that would avoid the cold stop at the bus stop tomorrow. By afternoon, though, anyone wearing a jacket will be able to take that off. 36 at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. Same at 8 a.m. with lots of sunshine. Our temperature will be on the move. Temperature works its way at noon to 54. Wind will remain light out of the southeast. Your afternoon temperature 62. That sets us up for what will be a nice Friday night. From north to south, temperatures just below average. 65, 66 is your average high for this time of the year. And we've got temperatures that go above average as we get to the second half of the weekend. Friday night football, unlike last week when it was raining and the temperature was falling and it was windy and cold, the wind will be light, skies generally clear, and temperatures fairly comfortable in the 50s. Saturday, a mixture of clouds and sunshine. The chance of rain is minimal. Go on with your plans. Shouldn't have too much of an issue. Sunday's temperature 72. Temperatures around the region Saturday from the upper 60s to low 70s. That mixture of clouds and sunshine. Consistently just a few degrees warmer on Sunday. As you look at early next week, there are the thunderstorms in the forecast I was talking about on Monday. Temperatures warmest then. We cool off significantly as we get to Tuesday and Wednesday. 7-day forecast. Coldest morning tomorrow morning. Frost around through 8 a.m. If you happen to have covered some plants tonight, don't forget to uncover those before going off to work. Temperatures for lows will be back as warm as 54 by Monday morning, and a couple days in the 70s there as well.
Because if you don't uncover them,
it's like a baked potato. You'll start to heat them up during the day.
Yeah, don't want to do that.
All right, well, we have Dave first with sports. Hey, Dave.
Guys, thanks. Good evening. Clock's ticking on the Pacers. Less than a week to go before their season opener, and the chemistry building continues. And really, that's not all. At practice today, Miles Turner, he was out suffering from a bug that's been going around the team. Victor Oladipo was back in South Florida for a checkup on his quad. And then Domas Sabonis here went down with an ankle injury, only for a while, though. Did return to practice. Goga Bitadze, he was there, fresh off his 14-point game Tuesday night. Nate's analysis?
He's out of shape, and he's got a ways to go, which we expected. It was good to see him get out there and get some minutes, but he's got a ways to go, and you expect that with a young guy.
They host the Pistons Wednesday night. Tomorrow night, meanwhile, regular season finale of Friday Football Frenzy. Conference titles on the line all over the place. The MIC, Mid-State, Conference Indiana, all in play. Live report from Ben Davis tomorrow night. Big week for the Colts. First place in the AFC South when they host the Texans in practice today. No Eric Ebron, sat out with an illness. Justin Houston popped up on the injury list with a calf. How about T.Y. Hilton? Well, over 1,500 yards and 9 touchdowns in his career against Houston. But good luck in finding anyone boasting about that.
Did you see the Texans on the schedule? Was it a little extra juice for you that week?
No. Why do you think T.Y.'s been so successful against Houston?
Because T.Y. is good. And he's been successful versus a lot of other players, a lot of other teams as well.
So it's one of those where you don't overthink it. It's T.Y.
Exactly. It's T.Y.
Yeah. Finally, foremost for soccer. And that's the Brickyard Battalion cheering on the Indy 11 to an unbeaten regular season at Lucas Oil Stadium. Right now on the RTV6 app, Brad Brown gets an inside look at the team's most passionate fans. Indy will host a USL playoff game Saturday night at Carroll Stadium.
Thanks, Dave. Next, how to research your worth and ask about benefits when you're negotiating with a potential new employer.
Down on the phone.
Tonight in Hiring Hoosiers, we are tackling a big question that often comes up when you're about to land a new job. Our career coach is breaking down what you need to do to make sure you're getting the benefits you deserve.
There's 6 things that you need to know about your benefits. You need to find out what is included in the benefit package, since it's health care, vision, dental, and prescriptions. You need to also ask about the salary. You need to dig for this because the employer will want to pay you as little as possible. So this is an important time when you need to know your worth. You need to do your homework, go to some online job search sites, Glassdoor, Salary.com, places like that, where you can know how much your job is worth. You also need to ask about vacation. Is it paid or unpaid? And what is this time policy? Can those days be rolled into the next year? You also want to talk about bonuses and promotions, and you need to find out what you need to do to be considered for a raise or promotion. Another thing that's important is education opportunities. What is their policy for continuing education? Do they pay tuition, and are they going to allow you time off for these classes? And lastly, how are these benefits presented? Is this in writing or in a contract? Most likely, it's not going to be during the first interview because you're going to be building relationships, making a good impression, and trying to sell what you have to offer. So maybe after a few interviews, or when maybe they start talking about contacting your references, starting dates, and paperwork, this is a good time to ask about those benefits. And remember, make sure you've done your homework and you know your salary worth. Be prepared to talk about your skills and strengths. Know the role of your job and give them a range that you are seeking.
Thank you to our career coach, Nicole Korn. For more helpful advice from our Central 9 career coaches and for links to career resources and job openings, check out hiringhoosiers.com. We'll be right back after this break.
It is haunted house season, and while they're supposed to be scary, officials want you to know that spooky spots across Indiana are also safe. Today, RTV6 tagged along as the State Fire Marshal's office inspected Necropolis haunted attractions on the northeast side of Indianapolis. The department checked things like fire alarms, exit signs, and evacuation plans. You can find out whether a haunted house has been inspected by state officials by going to the RTV6 app and clicking on this story.
Rise and shine. Frost will greet you. Lawn will look a little frosty, but sunshine will take care of that after 8 o'clock. We start to turn it the other way. Temperature in the low 60s. We don't get too carried away tomorrow, but it is Sunday and Monday that will be the warmest. Next best chance of rain really not until we get to Monday afternoon, and a few of those could be on the strong side.
All right, that'll do it for us here on RTV6 News at 11.
GMI starts at 4:30 a.m. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.
Good night.
TGIN.
Yes, it's coming.
So close.